we were talking about this, Micah and Cozy and I, at the back before we started talking about my beginnings. And I was literally the pain in the butt challenger. I made Micah work for that 40 bucks because I started with T25, which to this day I still loathe. I'm sorry. I hate it. I hate it. But I started with it because a friend had given me a copy, right? So my first challenge pack was actually Les Mills Combat just because it was $140. It was the cheap one. So literally I went as cheap as I could and I made her work her butt off for that $40 commission. When Micah asked me to come and do this, I was like, really? I don't really have a story that's worthy of Super Saturday. And I told my husband that this morning. I said, I'm not inspiring. I don't have a transformation. And he said, you've lost 75 pounds. My husband is a numbers guy, and he said that's 33% of your body weight when you were at your heaviest. So I guess that's worth sharing. I have always been lazy. I mean, my whole life, I'm the lazy one. I grew up in farm country where we got 2 weeks off of school every year for harvest, and I've never worked harvest in my life. I can tell you the soap operas, inside and out, every one of them, and I would eat my parents out of house and home during harvest because that couch was my home. That was where I lived. And I just grew up that way. I was just lazy. I had every opportunity. I tried gymnastics, I tried dance, I had piano lessons, I tried cheerleading in 3rd grade, and it never lasted more than maybe a week because that was work. And it continued into my adult life. It just was my habits. And I have 4 babies. And my reasoning in between each of those babies was, why should I waste my time and my money on products to lose weight when I'm just gonna have more babies? Pack it all right back on. So I didn't do anything. So by the time baby number 4 was on his way, I was looking pretty rough. These are nothing. My before pictures aren't here. I was big. I didn't really feel all that big, but I didn't feel great. And about that time, toward the end of my pregnancy, my husband had started his weight loss journey. So I remember sitting on the couch, beached whale, guys, sitting on the couch and watching him do those workouts and thinking, wow, how good he's doing. Look how good he looks. And I couldn't do it with him. And at one point toward the end of that pregnancy, I weighed more than he did. My husband's a big guy. He's a football player. And I weighed more than he did. And that hurt a lot. So you would think baby comes and I'd be just on the ball, right, to get this done, but I'm lazy. It took me another 1.5 years after that baby came before I finally got up and did something. And I don't know that I ever would have started had Micah not invited me 1,000,000 times. Literally 1,000,000 times. And I finally just got to the point where I said, I can't do it alone. We're trying to eat healthy and I'm losing a little, but I have so long to go and I need some help. I'm gonna give it a try. So I did. I decided to join her challenge group, but man, I was a skeptic, you guys. I decided I was doing T25 and I committed to Shakeology for the 60 days. I said, I'm gonna give it that 60 days, I'm gonna do it 100%, and that way when I'm done and it didn't work, I can say it didn't work, and it wasn't me. So I signed up to be a discount coach, just so that 2nd month of Shakeology would be cheap. I was the coach who was never gonna last as a discount coach, much less do anything else. I was the coach who ended up placed under her mom 3 levels deep because I wasn't gonna be there for long. And then a couple of months later, falling off the bandwagon as discount coaches and challengers generally do, I had a friend, and I had talked about it on Facebook just a little bit, but I had a friend who decided she wanted P90X3, and that I was excited for. I like Tony. He's my favorite. So I was excited about P90X3, and she decided she wanted it too. So she just randomly was like, how do I order from you? And I don't know. So she got my website and she ordered P90X3, and I was like, oh crap, I'm her coach now. I don't even work out. How am I going to tell her she needs to work out? So I got back on the bandwagon and I started doing my P90X3, which was great because it's kind of one of my soulmate workouts. I had fun with that one. And then comes January, and for a photographer, I was a photographer, that's how Micah and I met. January is kind of rough in Idaho because if you don't have a studio, you don't have a business. So I was bored in January. I had no business. I had no sessions scheduled. I had no hope of sessions until the snow was gone. So I was just bored, really, sitting at home with my kids. And Micah was posting about the training and all of that. So I was like, whatever, I'm bored. Let's give it a go and see what happens. And she put me into the trainings. So the first thing that I did was to pick up a personal development book. And Micah talked about it just a little bit, but personal development is the only reason that I am where I am. It's the only reason that I didn't give up. That every time I get on the scale and I've gone up a pound, or I haven't lost 10 pounds like I felt like I did, it's the only thing that gets me up to do a workout on the days when I'm like, you know what, I'm just done. I just don't want to do this anymore. So I have kind of become the personal development guru. If anyone complains about anything in our team page, I'm like, dude, what are you reading right now? Nothing, that's what I thought. So I kind of pushed a little hard on that. But I have learned through all of this that my passion has become to help women like me. Because I was lost and I didn't even know it. And I have found that when a woman comes to me and she starts saying things that just take me back to where I was, things like, you know, I've never been, or I never will be, or that's just not me, or I can't do that, or I'm just a mom. It makes me realize that there are women out there who are lost and they don't know it. And I don't feel okay sitting back and letting them be lost when I know there's something better. I have I've actually been running an ad this week on my Facebook page to try and bring in some new people. And I've had these women filling out my application for a challenge group. And the things that they're telling me, a total stranger, we have no relationship, they're telling me about a lifetime of illness or obesity, or about their fear for their children because they have not taught them healthy habits. And I'm just sitting at my computer holding back the tears because I just want to reach out and hug them and say, you can do this and it's okay. So that has become my mission. And I should mention one more thing. Speaking of kids, my kids, my oldest daughter is 10, almost 10, and she is my daughter. There came a point where I realized that I had created a duplicate. That girl wants nothing to do with anything that doesn't include a book or a movie. If she's not on her couch or on her bed, she is ticked. And if I tell her to get up and go outside, it's like tears, like, oh, why? And there came a point where I realized that I was creating in her the same struggles that I faced. So I do this for myself, yes, but I do it for my babies, and I do it for all of those women who have no one to help them. And hopefully, somehow my lazy ways can be transformed into something that can help somebody else. Thank you.